Assalamualaikum and a very good evening to all members present this evening. On behalf of ACCA, it is my humble privilege to welcome our members to the ACCA Pakistan Annual Member Network meeting. Dear members, engage, network, and stay informed is why we have gathered this evening. As you're aware, the ACCA Pakistan Annual Member Network meeting is held each year to present information about ACCA's annual performance, as well as to share the results of the member network panel elections, which are held every alternate year. Also, one of the benefits of being a member of the world's largest and fastest growing accountancy body is being able to network with lots of like-minded professionals, and such member networks are a great way to get your voice heard. The event this year is taking place physically in Lahore. However, members from other cities have joined us digitally. ACCA holds this meeting in different cities every year, and last face-to-face meeting pre-pandemic was held in Karachi. We aim to hold this meeting next year in Islamabad, so members from different cities have an opportunity to be present in such a setting every year. So without further ado, I would like to welcome Asif Hanif Khan, Head of ACCA Pakistan, to open the ceremony. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Members, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us today. So Jubilee has already set the scene. This is an important event that comes every 2 years in terms of the members network panel. It's great to see the sort of campaigning that has happened, the sort of engagement that we have seen, the sort of response that has come, and I hope that once we have the results announced, so you would definitely find an appropriate and suitable representation of this great fraternity, which is the ACCA members. So I just thought that I'd use this opportunity today to take us through the vision that ACCA has had for a very long time. So if you've had the opportunity to go through ACCA's annual report, if you've had the opportunity to go through ACCA's integrated report, so you would have come across this. The profession that is a force of public good. And the key focus in all this is how professional accountants not just contribute to the accounting fraternity, to the businesses and corporates that they operate within or support or lead, but the supported, but the society that we operate in. So जब हम social impact की बात करते हैं, so there has always been this claim of ACCA around mobility, where we have helped people move from different parts of not just Pakistan but the globe, and have helped them in terms of contributing to the global economics, to the global corporate sector in their various sectors. So the key area to look at over here is, if I just move on to the next the next slide, is our purpose, vision, and values. Guys, can you hear me? I think there is a sound issue. So not a problem. So I'll basically focus on just one area from what we have discussed, and that is opportunity. What does opportunity mean? What does creating an opportunity mean from an ACCA context? From the context of you as members creating opportunities for your organizations, for yourselves, for your families, for the fraternity that you're representing, for the society that you're operating in, and for the younger generation. A very key area in terms of the opportunity for each one of us probably is how well we understand the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and the commitment of ACCA to these Sustainable Development Goals. The reason that we continuously bring this up in our conversation for you as the members is for you to see for yourselves that through this commitment, how ACCA is contributing to the Sustainable Development Goals achievement, not just within Pakistan, but outside Pakistan, within the various countries that our members are operating in, within the various countries where ACCA operates directly, and also where ACCA operates indirectly. So when you look at this particular suite of sustainable development goals, and 9 out of 17 which have been committed to by ACCA, so you would see that it covers almost every red and corner of the social spectrum, of the demographic spectrum, of the economic spectrum, of the national spectrum in relation to contribution towards a better tomorrow. So हम जब भी बात करते हैं, ACCA a few years back assumed, embraced this tagline which is think ahead. So yes, everything that we do today will have an impact. The way it is done is keeping in mind the impact tomorrow. But whatever we do also has to keep in mind the changing trends that are going to come, and we need to embrace them forward. 2 years back, who would have thought that we would have been so digital in terms of our engagement? Who would have thought that we would have had hundreds of webinars, thousands of participants, so many different countries being connected simultaneously at the same time? Earlier, the focus was that if you're physically there, then and only you are there. But now, with the digital divide having been condensed, with digital technology coming into play, with the changes that have been brought into the organization's behavior, from the within the behavior of the individuals, and the opportunities that this digitalization has brought. So even as of today, despite the fact that we have a physical network meeting today, we have so many people joining us online. So if we have a look at the spectrum of the Sustainable Development Goals, so I'll just focus on 4 or 5 key themes, which I think is very important from our perspective as the ACCA, where we try to lead the agenda from the Pakistan perspective, leveraging the global insights that we have, taking the best practices from other markets, continuously all evolving ACCA's own organizational model. You would see there's so the 5 areas that we're working on. You see, the cornerstone of everything that we do is around ethics. Ethics in business, ethics as individuals, ethics in terms of the customer journey, ethics in terms of the customer promise, ethics in terms of the customer services, ethics in terms of the product that we deliver, ethics in terms of the brand promise that we deliver. So ethics would continue. So if you have everything and we are on the other side of the ethical spectrum, then probably all that we would have done would not have a long-term life. Moving on, the other opportunity that we have, the key themes would be ESG. You would be hearing about ethics plus environmental, social, and governance. So these go hand in hand. Why? Because this is linked to the governance. This is linked to the strategic leadership within organizations. This is what governments are currently having conversations on. We heard about COP26, which happened in November last year. We know about the net zero emissions. We understand the climate action or the climate changes that are taking place. We as accountants have a great responsibility to link up all this information, which is non-financial, and translate that for the benefit of the employees, for our customers, for our stakeholders like creditors, for our shareholders, for our board, and then put together a package which ensures one area. So ESG, environmental, social governance plus ethics equates to a very important term, which is sustainability. So we will be talking about that later today. So ACCA has invested a lot. in terms of your resources being developed for yourself through the online ACCA learning platform. We have multiple other platforms which will be picked up by my colleagues. So the other opportunity, so EFT from your perspective, I think it has to be a part of every conversation that you have within your organizations. Whether you are an export-oriented organization, whether you have foreign investors looking towards investing in you, whether you want to be considered compliant in the next few years. So ESG in terms of its benchmarks, in terms of its best practices, in terms of its parameters, you will see ACCA leading this conversation, not just within Pakistan, but globally over the next decade or so, till we move towards the actual implementation. You would have heard about the Sustainability Standards Board, the ISSB, which has recently been set up. Please do have a look. In addition to your financial reporting standards, other standards that we need to comply in terms of our reporting, in terms of our accounting. Sustainability Standards Board will play a key role in terms of our compliance and acceptance to majority of the stakeholders that we are connected. Next, we talk about shared services. So Pakistan, for the ACCA team, for the longest, through its members, through its stakeholders, has been advocating that Pakistan be made a hub of outsourcing related to accounting and finance, both in terms of services as well as talent. And we are seeing the fruits of that. I started with the word opportunity. So right now there is a major demand supply gap. The sort of demand that we're getting from multinationals, from public practice, from organizations that are setting up outsourcing centers in Pakistan and servicing clients outside Pakistan, we are unable to, at this point of time, cope up with the demand that is being requested from us within the shared services space. And within shared services, when we talk specifically about IT-enabled services. We talk about the new technology-driven businesses. We talk about the likes of fintechs. Blockchain used to be a high-level concept 4 to 5 years back, but now it is being practiced, implemented across a lot of organizations. 3 to 4 years back, we were talking about cryptocurrencies not being embraced within Pakistan because of regulatory concerns, because of regulatory reservation. But now we are talking about cryptocurrencies that will, going forward, be the currency that you trade in and probably will be replacing the paper currencies. Another opportunity for us at the moment would be to focus on a very important area, and that would be when we look at the environmental, social, and governance aspect, how you can set up consultancies that can help the organizations to be first movers in terms of understanding the ESG framework, to be able to understand what impact it has on its businesses, to be able to understand how you can use that as a brand differentiation and how you can sell your organizational brand, your cultural brand, and your ethical brand within ESG lens. So ये कुछ चीजें हैं which I thought that we will pick up in today's conversation. Last but not least, public financial management. We are seeing that globally post-pandemic, we have seen a major shift of the public sector in terms of embracing the new technologies, understanding efficiency needs, understanding the need to be agile, and we saw a few reflections of that during the pandemic when a substantial amount was released to a substantial number of households under the ASAS program. We had other products, other services, other platforms that have been brought up in the private sector. The public-private partnership has led to an acceleration in this area. So digital transformation, digital economy, digitization is the next thing, and what they are enabling, a new refined public sector which has a strong focus in terms of improving its public financial management practices, which means that going forward, your supreme audit institution, your supreme accounting institution, your military accountant generals, your ministries who are now functioning under the new PFM Act, which was rolled out in 2019. It has been defined. So they will look at opportunities to hire experienced, credible individuals and professionals like yourself to support this growth. So without further ado, I would close without going into details of this slide. So this is something which has been picked up by ACCA very recently in terms of the 7 priorities of the profession. So till the time we have our next speaker coming in and speaking specifically on employability and how ACCA has been supporting on that. So please have a look at it and please see that all these pillars, these priorities are now being reflected in the professional insights, the policy insights that ACCA time and again produces. It is free of cost. It is available to you in the form of an application. It is available to you on the website. So please take out time and so you think ahead, but at the same time, you have to have that knowledge to really be relevant to your organizations and take them into the next paradigm. So thank you once again, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much, Asit, for welcome remarks. And just picking on Asit's point on ACCA members being in high demand, so we want our members to be in demand. We want them to enjoy meaningful careers and deliver the change for public good. So we work closely with employers to understand their needs so we can maximize the career and learning support we offer to our members, this being the biggest support aspiration for members in our part of the world. All our activities you will see throughout the year reflect our focus on driving employability for our members. And hence, to share more insights on employment support available for ACCA members, I'd like to welcome Shahid Khan, Head of Business Development, Central Region, to share his insights. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Javeria. So, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, आज का interaction for me is not with any external stakeholder. So, आज की discussion is about the family discussion, because whenever we think about members, we call them as our extended family. We might have 20 to 30 colleagues working all across Pakistan, but whenever we plan anything, whenever we plan the engagement, we always consider our members as our extended family. So, आज की जो discussion है, this is the flow of the discussion, and I will be available with the entire team for Q&A after all presentations. So, I'll quickly talk about ACCA Approved Employer Program. What is that? How we interact with employers? What is the value proposition that we give to them? Employer landscape. So have a look at that. Share your feedback. Employment support. So what is currently available and what are we planning? Employability support. In order to grab those exciting opportunities, what types of skill set required by employers and how we can provide that? ACCA vision and how we are shaping the profession and some recognition of ACCA members in Pakistan. So let's begin with ACCA Approved Employer Program. What is that? I'm sure majority of you sitting here are aware that your organization is already ACCA Approved Employer. But what is the attraction for employers? What is the value proposition? We go and we talk to employers that we are there to grow your business. You know, how? By providing talent in shape of our members and future members. We provide them support to develop their finance function. And by the way, by finance function, se murad sirf finance or accounts या audit नहीं, बल्कि beyond that as well. So we, as professional body, invest heavily on our research work. आप में से बहुत सारों ने professional insights या ACCA insight app के through बहुत सारी research reports देखी होंगी. So we go to these employers and say that whenever you need any support in terms of capacity building of your staff, we are there to support. And by the way, ये B is not ACCA Business Development Team, it's ACCA employers. And then network, because we've committed to them that we are there to support and grow your business as well. So we have a huge national and international network. We are there to support you. And we have connected several businesses in several sectors. So this is the value proposition that we give to our employers, and uske against what we want. No any financial benefit. I mean, the only benefit that we get out of this, because जब भी मैं employer से बात करता हूँ, वो कहता है शायद this looks very artificial. What do you get out of it? You're saying that there is no any financial obligation. हमें आपकी किसी सर्विस, चाहे वो recruitment हो, चाहे वो capacity building हो, चाहे वो network हो, we don't need to pay anything. There must be some hidden agenda there. So I always say that look, what we want is that employment of our members and future members on merit. So currently we have 380 organizations all across Pakistan who ACCA approved employer, and there are double of this number who are not, and we are still working with them and providing that support. Few organizations come and go, but at the same time, the message which we want to give to these organizations, the look, ACCA and our members, there to support. Look at this employer landscape. You will find so many prominent names, or trust me, each and every employer, and I'm sure you will find hundreds of other approved employers as well. Just 6 offices across Pakistan, वहाँ पर कोई और function हो ना हो, and Asad is sitting here, and he can also endorse that. Whenever we think about any strategy, our employer focus is at the top of our priority. So we work with all sectors, in all geographical territories, providing optimum support, whichever we want to extend with the support of our members. And this list goes on. Employment support. ये 2 familiar images होंगे आपके लिए, एक weekly job market insights और एक job on ACCA careers. We were compiling the data in last calendar year only. Over 15,000 jobs were circulated through these weekly job insights, जिसके ऊपर टीम बैठी काम कर रही है, newspaper adverts, LinkedIn, social media, direct jobs from employers. We post that and share with our members. On ACCA careers, in last 12 months, over 11,000 jobs from beginner level to the senior roles were advertised. In addition to that, जब employment की बात आती है, then we get feedback from employers as well. That Shahid and the team, we need this type of profile. There are members, a good majority of them, but there are some members who need hand-holding and support. We want work-ready accountants. We want accountants who are technically sound, their behavioral skills are on top as well. So we sat down once again and came up with some internal as well as the global that we use platforms to support employability skills of our members. So here, known programs, there's 7-digit and 6-digit program, जिसमें hundreds of members and future members attended these capacity building exclusive for ACCA trainees and members programs for their capacity building. Think ahead session. अभी जो मैं उन professional side reports की बात कर रहा था, we did not want to keep those reports or those surveys and those reports with ourselves. We wanted to take them to general public and to employers and to our members as well. So we hold series of think tank sessions. जिनके अंदर once again our senior members, they deliver the majority of them, and then experts from industry who talk on topical issues and support the profession. ACCA careers इसके अंदर, if you guys have explored, there are clinics जो कि आपकी resume writing से लेके आपकी interview skills तक, आपकी general knowledge about economy and business enhance करते हैं, and then hundreds of CPD events that we conduct throughout the year. This is another important and exciting update, which is virtual career fair. During COVID times, we thought instead of holding those face-to-face career fairs, let's explore doing something different. So we launched that virtual career fairs in 2020 with only 60 employers and probably over 180 jobs. And then this momentum picked up. Last year, almost double employers with 4 times jobs, they participated in this. On 22nd of June, over 200 employers and over 1,000 jobs will be advertised on this particular day, which is virtual ACCA virtual career fairs. And once again, all big brands, all big names will be part of that. So stay tuned. As Asad mentioned, what we want with employers, what is our vision? We want to be number one in developing, accountancy profession world needs. So whenever we get an opportunity to be part of such dialogues, जो कि हमारे GDP, हमारी ease of doing business, हमारी global competitiveness index, हमारे किसी भी national एजेंडा को ड्राइव करने में हेल्प करेंगे, ऑलवेज बी देयर विद दीस बिग बॉयज. सो चाहे वो बिजनेस टाइकून्स हो, चाहे वो पब्लिक सेक्टर के रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स हो, चाहे वो गवर्नमेंट ऑफिशियल्स हो, वी ऑलवेज देयर टू सपोर्ट देम. Asad has already picked some of the initiatives. That is another flagship event of ACC Pakistan Leadership Conversation. I think this has also a great success. This has been probably the 4th edition we conducted this year. और इसके अंदर भी from each and every year we see positive trajectory in terms of speakers or C-suite from all sectors. They are coming, taking part in these dialogues. We got 35 plus partners, and by the way, they pay us to be part of that as well. So this is not a free ride. They pay millions of rupees to help us in holding these mega events all across Pakistan, and obviously as a return we give them this talent and at the same time so many other benefits. And then so many associations, so many organizations who want to be on our panel all the time. And this is the last slide, and we'll take Q&A afterwards. I'm sure you all are aware about educational recognitions. वो educational recognitions चाहे intermediate level या graduation ACC की recognitions, but there are some important key legal privileges that our members enjoy, and this is something which is we are working on it on an ongoing basis. Some more privileges will be added inshallah soon, on which we are working. So look at this slide. All our members are eligible in any listed or public sector organization to be CFO, head of audit, chief executive, even company secretary, and these are the SROs that support that stance. So this is all from my side for now. I'm sure we have a list of a long queue of speakers, but I am here to take any questions. But keep one thing in mind, that whatever we do, wherever we go, the prime most objective of our existence is to support our members and future members. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shahid, for those wonderful insights around employability. We used to say that ACCA is proud of its members, adding value to the society in their individual and professional capacities day in and day out, highlighting and generating the significant positive impact of accountancy profession on sustainable economies. ACCA's marketing team does a great job in identifying and highlighting such members and recognizing their efforts. So we're very privileged that Hamad was able to travel from Islamabad. Hamad Azim is the head of marketing for ACCA Pakistan, and request him to come here and share some insights on the profiling opportunities for our members.
Thank you, Jameria, and assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. It's absolutely a pleasure to be here with all of you fine members this evening. And so today I will be speaking a little bit about member profile. And थोड़ा सा मैं employability को भी cover करना चाहूँगा because I think it's linked. Carrying on from the conversation with which Shahid Khan just had with you guys. So ये कुछ हमारी initiatives हमने यहाँ पे लिखे हैं which are covering the employability aspect and are also covering member profile. So I'm not going to name all of them. It's ये सामने है और अभी शायद already discussed भी कर ली है. But before I get on to speaking about member profile, there is one question I would like to ask all of you over here. And since I'm in marketing, so I think the question will be most relevant. तो अगर मैं आप लोगों से पूछूं कि आपका ख्याल से ACCA की जो ब्रांड है, ब्रांड वो क्या है, तो आप उसका क्या जवाब देंगे? Anyway, I know we don't have a mic. Anybody can answer. Very quickly. Top of your mind. What is ACCA's brand? G. Global. That is ACCA's brand. Global brand. Okay, lovely. What else? Anybody else? What is ACCA's brand?
Producing accountants.
Excuse me?
Producing accountants.
Producing accountants. Okay. Good. Anybody else? Thank you very much. Aapka naam sir? Sorry? Thank you so much. Thank you. So ACCA's brand is all you fine ladies and gentlemen, हमारे members हैं, 200 and now 20,000 plus members that we have all across the globe. आप लोग सारी हमारी brand हैं. हम marketing में हैं, हम जितनी मर्जी campaign launch कर लें, हम जितनी मर्जी अच्छे खूबसूरत से इश्तिहार बना लें, जो मर्जी कर सकते. But at the end of the day, what is going to drive the ACCA's brand forward? It is all of you guys, right? If you guys, if all of our members are not progressing well, if we are not focusing on their employability, and I don't think that there is any marketing campaign that we can launch that is going to be as effective. So इसलिए I would request all of you to help us. अभी मैं आपको बताऊंगा कि हम member profiling किस तरह करते हैं और मुझे और मेरी टीम को आप लोगों से कहाँ पे support और help की जरूरत है. So there are many examples. हिंदी तरफ में भी आता हूँ, आपको दिखाते हैं. आप लोगों ने कुछ देखे होंगे कि हमारे events वगैरह हैं. But specifically I wanted to come to our advocacy awards. अभी मैं इसकी तरफ भी आता हूँ. But before we come to this, so what do I mean by, let me sort of try to, so what we do is what does a brand do? A brand tells stories. और अगर आप लोग हमारी brand हैं, तो हमें कौन सी story सुनानी चाहिए? आप लोगों की story, right? And it is the most credible story because it is not some people acting on behind the camera. It is not some people, जिनको models हैं या कोई हैं. ये हमारी real life members हैं और उनकी stories. मेरे पिछले 8 साल से I've been associated with ACCA, and in these past 8 years I have come across so many members who have told so many exciting stories. And every member has a story to tell. But कुछ ऐसे members होते हैं जिनकी stories बहुत exciting होती हैं. So what are those stories? Those stories are about social mobility, for instance. I know a lot of members who come from very humble background. जिनके parents ने बहुत मेहनत मुशक्कत करके उनकी फीसेस दी, उनको पढ़ाया, और अब वो corporate sector में they are working, and they are making 6-figure salaries and even 7-figure salaries, right? So these are our success stories. इसी तरह there are so many other members that we have who are doing so many great things, not just here in Pakistan, but abroad. And these are the members that we want to speak to tell their story. So आप लोगों के पास से जहाँ पे मुझे आपकी और मेरी टीम को आपकी थोड़ी सी सपोर्ट की जरूरत है कि अगर आप लोग ऐसे मेंबर्स को जानते हैं या आप खुद ऐसे member हैं who has a story to tell, so please do get in touch with us and we will tell that story. And that is our brand story, right? So I will just point to very quickly, ये हमारे member advocacy से related कुछ हमारे posts हैं, हम इनको किस तरह showcase करते हैं, ये वो दिखाया जा रहा है, but ये हमारी winner हैं. So and so what we do is ये हमारे सारे social portals वगैरह पे भी cover them, but जो हम stories चाह रहे हैं, so members in spotlight, so something like this for instance, right? So these are our members who are in spotlight. ये हम अपने channels के ऊपर showcase करते हैं और हमारे पास जैसे जैसे कोई powerful stories आती हैं, so what we do is we cover them in editorials. So editorials are your magazines, they are your your digital channels, they are your television, they are your so many different forums that we have where we can actually cover and profile our members. So I would request all of you to please, if you know of anybody, या आपकी खुद की कोई ऐसी story है, so please do get in touch with our member affairs, get in touch with our marketing, myself, and we would love to convey and tell that story to the whole world. So just showing you very quickly. So छोटी सी जो लगाई है. So for example, so if you look at bottom left page, so these are editorial pieces that we cover, right? So any member who has a story to tell, they can reach out to us, and then we will sort of do a editorial piece on that, right? So मेरी आप लोगों सबसे ये request है to please help us, support us in telling the story, जो हमारी brand की story है, to the whole world. और हमारी जो ये पहिया है ना, एक हम वैसे बोलते हैं मार्केटिंग लिंगो में कि हमारी जो साइकिल है वो चलती ही ऐसे. It's not because कि हमने वो मार्केटिंग की एक्टिविटी कर ली, हमने कोई सेल्स की एक्टिविटी, it's not like that. It's education. ये एक करियर है, आप लोगों को मेरे से ज़्यादा बेहतर इस बारे में पता है. Right. So it's not a kind of a something that you can just go out there or कोई एक campaign करके कुछ आप लोगों की stories जो हैं वो लोग पढ़ के वो motivate होंगे. And we will form we will do an effective brand building for all of us in the country. Right. So far am I making sense? Okay, great. So मेरी बस ये छोटी सी आप लोगों से ये request है, please support us in this, and I will be looking forward to some spectacular stories from all of you to cover. And with that, thank you very much. But before I go, if you have any questions, should we do that at the end or? Okay, so if you have any questions, I'll be here as well. You can reach out to me, my team, and thank you very much, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mark. I believe we have around 200 such profiles in the hall present today, and many of them are with us online as well. So do get in touch with our marketing team. And now the most important segment of this meeting, when all the efforts as highlighted by my colleagues are translated into results. So I would like to request the chairman, Member Network Panel of ACCA Pakistan, Umar Zahir Mir, to present the annual report to our members. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi Shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Allah, open my heart and ease my thoughts for me and remove the impediments from my speech so that I may understand what they say. Actually 40 minutes allocate हुए थे, लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि मैंने 40 minutes दिए तो काफी लोगों के पेट काफी एहतजाज करेंगे. मैं कोशिश करूंगा कि जितना जल्दी हम वाइंड अप कर सके करें. सबसे पहले आप लोग क्या सारे आज बहुत थके हुए हैं या भूखे हैं? मैं कह रहा था जो एप्रिसिएशन थी ना ड्यूरिंग प्रेजेंटेशन, उसमें मुझे लग रहा था कोई थकावट है, तो पहले थोड़ी थकावट दूर करते हैं। आज आप सब कर रहे हैं एएनएम में, अपने आप को ज़रा अप्रिशिएट कीजिए। देखिए, व्हाट इज ACCA? ACCA is the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants. You, me, us. It belongs to us. It's an association of the members. So I always believe that our members should take ownership and should be aware. MNP, आपके knowledge में है, is an advisory body. Before going through the presentation, I think ये important है, especially जो पिछले एक महीने में मैंने member engagement देखी है, मुझे अंदाजा हुआ है कि कितनी शदीद lack of awareness और misconception. So taking benefit of today कि आप सारे भी यहाँ पे मौजूद हैं, आवाज आ रही है क्लियर लास्ट में? अगर आ रही है जस्ट थम्स अप कर। ग्रेट, आप सारे भी यहाँ पे मौजूद हैं एंड अ लॉट ऑफ मेंबर्स हैव जॉइंड अस ऑनलाइन टू, तो इसका फायदा उठाते हुए हम कुछ चीजें क्लियर करते हैं। ACCA का भी गवर्नेंस स्ट्रक्चर ये है कि पॉलिसी मेकिंग बॉडी है ग्लोबल काउंसिल, ठीक है। ग्लोबल काउंसिल बाय द पावर वेस्टेड इन देम हर डिफरेंट मार्केट में क्रिएट कर सकती है मेंबर रिप्रेजेंटेटिव बॉडीज, जिनको मेंबर नेटवर्क पैनल या मेंबर एडवाइजरी कमेटी कहा। इन नेचर ये MNP या मैक लोकल मेंबर रिप्रेजेंटेशन कर रही होती है, पर इनका लार्जली रोल जो होता है वो एडवाइजरी होता है, या इन में आप ओवरसाइट कह सकते हैं। प्रैक्टिकली पॉलिसी मेकिंग वो नहीं कर रहे हो। हाँ, जो काउंसिल मेंबर है बाय वर्च्यू ऑफ बीइंग अ काउंसिल मेंबर, ऑल्दो council represent global membership, they are the expected, in fact practically full-fledged member of the member network panel. और जो MNP का फीडबैक है, एक लाइन ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन है कि they take that to the council. दूसरा, MNP हेड ऑफ ACCA पाकिस्तान या उनके अपॉइंटेड किसी भी टीम मेंबर से जो एज सेक्रेटरी ऑफ द MNP लाइसेंस करते हैं, अपना फीडबैक, अपने इनपुट, अपने मेंबर का जो चैलेंज है, जो इश्यूज हैं, वो शेयर करते हैं। सो ये स्ट्रक्चर आपके लिए जानना बहुत जरूरी है, क्योंकि एक जनरल मिसकॉन्सेप्शन ये है कि शायद पॉलिसी ACCA पाकिस्तान या मेंबर नेटवर्क पैनल बना रहा है या उसको चेंज कर सकते हैं, ऐसा नहीं। अच्छा, अब ये जितने सारे आप इनिशिएटिव्स देखते हैं ना, या जितने सारे आप अभी देखने जा रहे हैं, इसका बहुत बड़ा क्रेडिट मैं दूंगा ACCA की भी टीम को, और सबसे बढ़कर आप लोगों को जो वॉलंटियर करते हैं, जो MNP मेंबर हैं, जो अपना वक्त, अपनी रिसोर्स, हर चीज सेक्रीफाइस करते हैं एक फ्रेटर्निटी, एक कम्युनिटी की बेटरमेंट के लिए। इनफैक्ट मैं आपसे शेयर करता हूँ कि हाउ माय जर्नी स्टार्टेड। आई यूज्ड टू बी इन UK। वहां पे जो हमारी ACCA की बॉडीज है वो काफी ज्यादा बेल्ट कर रखते हैं। जाहिर है दैट्स अ मच लार्जर मार्केट। वहाँ इवन सिटीज और डिफरेंट सेक्टर्स के सेपरेट पैनल्स हैं, नेटवर्क्स हैं, जो बड़ा इफेक्टिवली इंगेज होते हैं। So I was very much engaged in them. When I came back to Pakistan for certain personal reasons, my initial interaction with ACCA, I remember the first interaction was with Mr. Anuja, and that was quite a funny story. So हुआ ये था कि I decided कि जॉब नहीं करनी, अपनी प्रैक्टिस करनी है. So I went to the tax bar. Although I had a plethora of qualifications, but ACCA is very close to my heart. I told them I am an ACCA member and I would like to have the membership. And what they said in response actually offended me. उन्होंने कहा ये क्या है? मैंने कहा आपका क्या मतलब ये क्या है? आप ICAP को भी membership दे रहे हैं, आप ACMA को भी दे रहे हैं, which is fantastic. This is the world class qualification. Long story short, उन्होंने कहा जी हमें तो पता ही नहीं, ना हमारे constitution में, which was not factually correct, because when I pulled a few strings, guess what? ACCA's old name was mentioned in the constitution. I went back to them and I showed that to the president. I said, what's going on? मुख्तसर करते हैं, वक्त की कमी है. After few meetings, back and forth, pulling few strings, he finally opened up कि एक certain body है, उसके members जो हैं, वो पास्ट प्रेसिडेंट रहे हैं और उस वक्त की बार की मेंबरशिप में अबाउट 35% उनकी मेंबरशिप एंड दे वुड नॉट रेदर हैव ACCA, व्हिच वाज अनफॉर्चुनेट। मैं बड़ा फ्रैंक डिस्कशन कर रहा हूँ। पहले तो जो हमारा एक ACCA की तदरीर है हमने वही शेयर किया, देखिए इसमें क्या बात है, आप रूल फॉलो करें, हम तो किसी के अगेंस्ट नहीं, एवरीवन इज अ पाकिस्तानी, दे शुड कंट्रीब्यूट, बट ऑब्वियसली उनके अपने चैलेंजेस थे। Finally, I said to him, look, I'm not gonna go away. This is wrong. If need be, I'll go to court. I'll get a stay. This will linger on. एक छोटी सी आप चीज कर लें, आपके कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में मेंशन है कि आप इंटरव्यू कंडक्ट करेंगे मेंबरशिप, which practically never happens. मैंने कहा इस दफा आप कर दें और करें भी इस तरह कि ये जितने पास्ट प्रेसिडेंट्स हैं ना उन बॉडी के, इनका पैनल ना और उनके सामने मुझे प्रेजेंट, दो में से एक काम हो जाएंगे, either they will fail me and I will not be able to come to you. इस काबिल ही नहीं होना, खत्म हो गई, और I would go through that and then they won't be able to come to you or put any pressure. समझदार बंदा था, बात समझ आ गई, उसने का मसला हल हो गया। So जी इंटरव्यू चला था, if I remember correctly 3 hours plus ही चला। By the end of that वो साथ के साथ बुजुर्गान जो है बड़े अच्छे दोस्त बन गए थे and I was honored to be the first member. तो इस एपिसोड के दौरान मेरा पहली दफा इंटरेक्शन हुआ था आनंद साहब से, क्योंकि हमें ये चैलेंजेस चल रहे हैं, ये प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, और इफ आई लुक बैक टू दैट टाइम, अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह वी हैव कम लीप एंड बाउंड। यहाँ पे आज पाकिस्तान के तमाम टैक्स पास से हमारे हुए ACCA मेंबर्स को कोई इशू नहीं है, वो प्रैक्टिस कर सकते हैं, उनको जाके तमाम बार, चाहे लाहौर हो, कराची हो, मुल्तान हो, पाकिस्तान टैक्स बार हो, हर जगह में रिकॉग्नाइज किया जा रहा है। इसी तरह डिफरेंट फील्ड्स जो हैं उनके लिए हमने अवेयरनेस क्रिएट करने की कोशिश की कि आपके पास सिर्फ यही एक स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिट की फील्ड नहीं है, जो आमतौर पे बच्चा जब प्रैक्टिस में जाता है उसका कॉन्सेप्ट होता है शायद सिर्फ यही है, इसके अलावा और कुछ नहीं है, जो कि हकीकत नहीं है। इनफैक्ट यहाँ मेरे कई दोस्त सीनियर प्रैक्टिस से भी बैठे हैं, हमारी जब कन्वर्सेशन होती है तो हम कहते हैं कि स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिट तो मजबूरी में करना पड़ता है, तो अदरवाइज इट्स अ लॉस्ट लीडर। मेन जो आपके एरिया एडवाइजरी है, आपकी इंटरनल एश्योरेंस है, आपकी बाकी सर्विसेज है, आपकी टैक्स है, कंप्लायंस है। एनीवे, ये बात मैं आप लोगों से क्यों शेयर कर रहा हूँ कि अक्सर हम ये कन्वर्सेशन सुनते हैं कि हमें क्या चैलेंजेस फेस आ रहे हैं, और ऑब्वियसली दैट्स अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट ऑफ द डिस्कोर्स और होनी चाहिए, लेकिन हमें ये भी याद रखना चाहिए कि हम क्या इफेक्टिव रोल अदा कर सकते हैं। यहाँ पर कोई कमी है हम बिल्कुल पॉइंट आउट करें, लेकिन इस अंदाज में करें कि हम अपने इदारे को कम ना करें, क्योंकि आवर फेट्स आर इंटरवाइंड विद ACCA। याद रखें, अगर ACCA की इज्जत कम होगी तो आपकी बढ़ेगी, आपकी भी कलेक्टिवली कम होगी। अगर ACCA कोई मेंबर अच्छा परफॉर्म कर रहा है तो उसके नतीजे में ACCA की तो इज्जत बढ़ेगी, लेकिन पूरी कम्युनिटी की इंक्रीज होगी। ये चीज हमेशा मैं चाहता हूँ कि आप सबके मद्देनजर रहे। अच्छा, मैंने आपसे शेयर किया था इस जर्नी का, जब ये जर्नी हुई इसके बाद पहला इमीडिएट जो हमें नजर आया एक चैलेंज लोकल टैक्सेशन और लॉस, कि हमारा जो मेंबर या हमारा जो बच्चा है स्टूडेंट मार्केट में निकलता था, उसको सबसे मेजर चैलेंज क्या आता था, आज भी क्या आता है बताइए, अभी आपको टीचर है, ठीक है, सेट एम्प्लॉयर, हर बंदा पहली चीज उससे पूछता है भाई आपको लोकल टैक्सेशन के लिए लिबरे आती है, मामला आप हैंडल कर लेंगे, और ये बहुत बड़ा इशू है। लेकिन अगेन पॉलिसी ACCA पाकिस्तान या MNP नहीं सकती, हम सर जोड़ के बैठे, और वी शुड गिव द क्रेडिट वेयर इट इज ड्यू, should be head of member affairs, head of ACCA Pakistan, myself, and we discussed and we finally agreed that we should at least for the time being जो हम कर सकते हैं वो तो करें। एक बड़ा कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव CPD प्रोग्राम लॉन्च किया, जिसमें आई थिंक विद इन फर्स्ट 2 years हमने 100 या 125 सेशंस सिर्फ टैक्सेशन पे किए थे इन टर्म्स ऑफ आवर्स, जिसमें उस अंदाज में किए गए जो पाकिस्तान में कभी किसी ने नहीं किए। एक सेक्शन टैक्सेशन लॉ, ईच एंड एवरी सेक्शन कवर किया गया, एंड दैट हैज बीन एब्सोल्युटली फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट, और वो आज भी अवेलेबल। कोई भी बंदा नॉलेज हासिल करना चाहता है टेक्स्ट का, उसे नहीं पता, वो एक परमानेंट सोर्स, एक परमानेंट चीज उसके लिए मौजूद है कि उसको वो अवेल कर सके। इस चैलेंज के साथ साथ पैरेलल कुछ इंटरनल डिस्कशंस चलती रही हैं, वो अभी भी चल रही है। बाय वर्च्यू ऑफ द ऑफिस एथिकली भी और प्रोफेशनली भी हम बाउंड है कि जब तक वो मैच्योर ना हो और ACCA इटसेल्फ फॉर्मली अनाउंस ना करे, हम उसको अनाउंस नहीं कर सकते। लेकिन जो मैं आपसे शेयर कर सकता हूँ वो ये जरूर कर सकता हूँ, उस पर डिफरेंट प्रपोजल्स कॉन्टिन्यूसली जाते रहे हैं, कॉन्टिन्यूसली डिस्कोर्स होता रहा है और आज भी चल रहा है। फर्दर इसमें एक चीज जो मैं समझता हूँ कि हम सबको करनी चाहिए, स्पेशली जो मेंबर्स सीनियर पोजीशंस पे हैं, वो बाकी मेंबर्स को हेल्प करना चाहिए। देखिए हम मुसलमान हैं, ये हमारे ईमान का भी हिस्सा है। अगर अल्लाह ताला ने आपको किसी पोजीशन पे पहुंचाया तो आपके लिए दुनिया आखिरत दोनों में वो सत्ता जारिया बनता है। अगर आपकी नीयत सही है ना जी, तो जो आपको एक्रू होना है वो तो आपको फिर भी एक्रू होना है, उसको कोई नहीं रोक सकता। फॉर एग्जाम्पल हमने एक दूसरा चैलेंज देखा कि बहुत बड़ा इशू था मेंबर्स की आपस में नेटवर्क, उसमें डिफरेंट रिसोर्स कंस्ट्रेंट्स और चीजें होती हैं। तो we thought of starting WhatsApp groups. That was, I think, about 4 years back when I first became the chair. और उससे पहले this was unheard of in this region. And I remember कि MNP ने जब propose किया, that was sent to head office to get the approval, which we were told. And finally, as a test case, it was given an approval. And it has been so successful in engaging members कि उसके बाद फिर डिफरेंट शहरों के ग्रुप बने, फिर ACC ने ऑफिशियल ग्रुप बनाए, डिफरेंट इवन एरियाज के ग्रुप बने, सेक्टर्स के ग्रुप बने, और लिटरली मैं बिला मुबालगा कह सकता हूँ कि आज थाउजेंड्स में नंबर है ACC कम्युनिटी के उन लोगों का जो ग्रुप्स थे आपस में इंटरेक्ट है। ये एक छोटी सी मिसाल है आउटसाइड द बॉक्स थिंक करने का और इनिशिएटिव लेने का। एक एडवाइजरी बॉडी तो आप हैं, लेकिन उससे आगे आप जाकर जहां वॉलंटियर कर सकते हैं वो आप जरूर करें। इसी तरह फेस टू फेस इवेंट्स के हवाले से जो डिस्कशन हुई, अगर आप लोगों को याद हो, ये 2 साल पहले तक जो पहला टेन्योर था उसमें थर्सडे हडल्स शुरू हो गए कि हर थर्सडे को ACC ऑफिस में एक मेंबर्स का नेटवर्किंग इवेंट होता है। एंड इट वाज गोइंग स्प्लेंडिडली व्हेन कोविड हिट, और अनफॉर्चुनेटली एक गवर्नमेंट ऑफ पाकिस्तान की भी पॉलिसी थी, एक ग्लोबल पॉलिसी भी थी जिससे ACC ऑफिस को भी कंप्लाई करना था, तमाम फेस टू फेस इवेंट्स वर शट डाउन। बट द गुड न्यूज़ नाउ इज कि नॉट ओनली दोस बट मेनी अदर इवेंट्स have been proposed, have been discussed, and inshallah will be starting, even those for senior members, for newer members, and for all the community members. अब वो आप देख रहे होंगे इंशाल्लाह। एक इशू द एलिफेंट इन द रूम टू बी एड्रेस्ड जिस पे हमेशा बात होती है सब्सक्रिप्शन का। सब्सक्रिप्शन के हवाले से मैं आपसे ये शेयर कर सकता हूँ कि इन द लास्ट 4 years दैट आई हैव बीन एन MNP चेयर, शायद ही कोई ऐसा रेलेवेंट फॉरम होगा जहां पर ये इशू नहीं होता। However, इसकी डिफरेंट एस्पेक्ट है, ये ग्लोबल पॉलिसी मेकिंग डिसीजन होता है। मैं आपको पहले ही बता चुका हूँ कि पॉलिसी मेकिंग स्ट्रक्चर क्या है यहाँ। बहरहाल इसके कॉन्टेक्स्ट में हमने 2 चीजें देखी कि अगर यहाँ पर किसी मेंबर को ये फील होता है कि उसकी अर्निंग कम है, इस वजह से दे फील कि सब्सक्रिप्शन थोड़ी ज्यादा है और वहां पे पॉलिसी डिसीजन हमारे बाउंड में नहीं है, तो हम क्या कर सकते हैं? हम ये कर सकते हैं कि हम ये कोशिश करें कि उसकी अर्निंग कैपेसिटी बढ़ाएं। And that discussion led to 6 digit, which becomes such a phenomenal success that Ellen Brand herself appreciated, and it grew from first batch. मुझे याद है जहाँ पे 14 बंदों को लिया गया था as a test case in the first one, 32 को as a test case लिया गया था to the last section जहाँ पे we crossed I think 12 or 1300. Or not only that, it has now gone regional, and we have now a 7 digits program. कहने का मकसद ये है कि ये सारी चीजें, ये सारे इनिशिएटिव्स हो रहे हैं, बट आई फील कि ये एक नीड है, आप सारे भी एक एम्बेसडर बने, इस चीज को ज्यादा से ज्यादा आगे शेयर करें, इस लेगेसी को आगे कंटिन्यू करें, अपनी कम्युनिटी, अपनी फ्रेटर्निटी के लिए जितना आप गिव बैक कर सकते हैं कंफर्टेबली वो जरूर। प्लीज फाइंड इट इन योर हार्ट।
With that, मैं quickly जरा आगे लेके चलना चाहूँगा चीजों को और I try to skip the things which have already been covered. Members in spotlight की भी बात हो रही है, ACC awards की भी बात हुई है. ACCA ने अपनी नई स्ट्रेटेजी रिलीज की है for 2025 और इस स्ट्रेटेजी के अंदर मेंबर्स और future members is now the term that ACCA uses for all the applications. They remain at the core heart of the strategy. इसमें different engagement opportunities हैं, कुछ की बात मैं आपसे पहले ही कर चुका हूँ, कुछ आप लोग जानते हैं, इनके बारे में डिस्कस हो गया, मेंबर एडवोकेट्स हो, कस्टमर सर्विसेज हो, लोकल रीजनल CPDs हो, पार्टनरशिप इवेंट्स हो, MNP इवेंट्स हो. ACCA का बजट प्रपोजल जो है ये कल रिलीज होने जा रहा है. मैं आपको बड़ा प्राइड ये शेयर कर सकता हूँ कि पाकिस्तान में ACCA was the first ever, not just the accounting body, first ever entity who covered the upcoming technologies, blockchain, etc. in its taxation proposal, and it was also honored to be first ever accounting body and the first ever entity which incorporated economic impact and economic proposals within the budget. और मुझे बड़ी खुशी से कहना पड़ता है कि हमारा पैटर्न बाकी लोकल अकाउंटिंग बॉडीज में भी फॉलो करना है. हमारे कुछ सीनियर ड्यूल मेंबर्स हैं जो बाकी बॉडीज के भी अकाउंटिंग बजट प्रपोजल्स देखते हैं, वो इस चीज से अवेयर है. और इसमें एक और चीज जिस पे आप सब एज पाकिस्तानी फोकस हैं वो ये है कि हमारे बजट प्रपोजल्स जो हैं वो ACCA की वेबसाइट पे लिस्ट करके एज अ सैंपल, as a benchmark for ACCA community across the world in more than 140 countries benchmark किए गए और ये आप सब तक ये पाकिस्तान में है. इसमें जी बजट प्रपोजल्स के बाद ACCA जो एक हम सब का सिर्फ पाकिस्तानी नहीं पूरी दुनिया के मेंबर्स का क्रेडिट है कि ACCA has been crowned as the best global professional accounting body at International Industry Awards. और जाहिर है आप जब भी चीजें देखते हैं उनको आप बेंचमार्क में कंपेयर करें. एक बच्चा 90% नंबर लेके आ रहा है लेकिन पता लगे कि क्लास में बाकी सबने 99% सिक्योर किया है तो आपका उसके बारे में पर्सपेक्टिव चेंज हो जाएगा. और एक बच्चा जो है वो 70 या 80% लेके आ रहा है लेकिन पता लगे कि क्लास में बाकी सब 50% में पास हुए हैं तो उसका पर्सपेक्टिव कुछ और है. द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ बेंचमार्किंग. तो ये चीजें मैं इसलिए हाईलाइट कर रहा हूँ, आप वो लोग हैं जो एम्बेसडर और एडवोकेसी रोल में हैं. यू शुड टेक दिस बैक विद यू. ग्लोबल एथिक्स वीक ACCA के कोर एजेंडा में शामिल है और हर साल ACCA मेक्स इट अ पॉइंट इसको सेलिब्रेट करते हैं बाय होल्डिंग डिफरेंट इवेंट्स अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड एंड ACCA पाकिस्तान इज नो डिफरेंट. इस साल भी हमने क्लाइमेट एक्शन और प्रोफेशन के ऊपर ये सेशन होल्ड किया था. अकाउंटिंग प्रोफेशन में जो डिफरेंट चैलेंजेस आ रहे हैं ACCA always pride itself on thinking ahead before the time, and that is the pride we also take. So इसके ऊपर different section ACCA hold करता रहा है. ब्रांडिंग और पब्लिक वैल्यू के हवाले से ACCA पब्लिक ऑफिस होल्डर्स और रेगुलेटर्स के साथ इंटरेक्ट करता रहा है. पंजाब इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी बोर्ड से हमारा जो MOU साइन हुआ उसकी एक क्लासिक एग्जांपल है. सो इज ESG टास्क फोर्स. इसी तरह कॉर्पोरेट कंप्लायंस और अमेंडमेंट्स जो हैं कंपनीज एक्ट 2017 में SECP की उनके ऊपर ACCA ने ये एक सेक्शन होल्ड किया था जिसमें असद was representing ACCA and we had key dignitaries from the regulator. इसी तरह डेवलपिंग कैपिटल मार्केट्स के ऊपर ACCA ने सेशन किया. अब आप देख सकते हैं कि इन सारे सेशन में मल्टीपल चीजें अचीव हो रही हैं. जहां एक तरफ मेंबर्स की कैपेसिटी वहां दूसरी तरफ ब्रांड एनहांसमेंट के who's who of different sector और regulator engage हो रहे हैं. उन्हें ACCA की वैल्यू, ACCA की स्ट्रेंथ, ACCA की टेक्निकल कॉम्पिटेंस से अवेयरनेस. ESG के हवाले से डिटेल से ऑलरेडी बात हो चुकी है एंड एज इट वुड बी नो सरप्राइज ACCA कंटिन्यूअसली कर रहे हैं. पाकिस्तान लीडरशिप कन्वर्सेशन ACCA का फ्लैगशिप इवेंट है जो 3 मेजर सेक्टर्स में हर साल होल्ड किया जाता है, लाहौर, कराची, इस्लामाबाद. और ड्यू टू कोविड अनफॉर्चुनेटली 2 years होल्ड नहीं हो सका था in person. So after the gap of 2 years, as soon as COVID restrictions were off, and the head office guidelines allowed pre-infection, ACCA immediately resorted back to holding PLC, which was a tremendous success again this year. और PLC के साइड बाय साइड इसी साल मार्च में लाहौर, कराची और इस्लामाबाद being face to face new members ceremonies भी हुई थी. By the way, at the risk of offending my dear members from other city, Lahore was declared the best in terms of passion and in terms of engagement. नहीं ऐसा पैशन नहीं था, इससे तो 100 times है, दोबारा होना चाहिए. Now that we have covered this, मैं end में 2-3 बातें आपसे करना चाहूँगा. As today is the annual breakfast meeting when the MNP elections will be announced, I did not contest this year, and this brings an end to my tenure. I've been extremely grateful for all the support, all the love, all the affection, all the standing, and I just simply don't have words to describe it. The tremendous passion and acknowledgement from all the members, and the honor of being elected unanimous chair twice, making history in ACCA Pakistan. I strive my best to go even beyond the call of duty, to go even beyond what was the paradigm of an advisory position, to always be there when needed by any members. मैं आज बता रहा था, एक मेंबर मेरे साथ आ रहे थे, तो वो मुझे कह रहे थे मुझे समझ नहीं आती कि हम जॉब करते हैं, ACCA के कुछ इवेंट्स में आते हैं और घर का होता है और बड़ा मुश्किल होता है रिस्पॉन्ड करना. आपको रात को 1 बजे भी मैसेज करें तो आप रिस्पॉन्ड कर देते हैं, आप करते हैं कैसे? So that was a big compliment, but I said to him, when something is closer to your and you believe in it, then it is not worth it. You actually start enjoying that. So I'm extremely grateful to you all, and I'm extremely grateful to ACCA and ACCA's team, which has been a tremendous support. And I must highlight this, कि ये जो सारे initiatives आपने देखे हैं, जो just एक advisory body की domain नहीं हो सकते थे, they were only possible because of a positive attitude of ACCA officials, who were keen to listen, to advise, and to put in action. और उसमें थोड़ा बहुत हमारा भी रोल था कि जहाँ कोई कंस्ट्रेंट आ जाता था, हम दीवानों की तरह वॉलंटियर कर देते थे. तभी मेरे एक पुराने दोस्त इधर बैठे हुए हैं, अमीन साहब, हमारे साथ पुरानी एमएनपी पे थे. मुझे कभी कभी मजाक किया करते थे कि जब आपकी शादी हो जाएगी ना, पता लगेगा you put us in a real paradise. अमीन साहब, we welcome you. सीनियर मेंबर्स को अप्रिशिएट कर दिया करें आप, कल तो आपने भी सीनियर है. आखिर में जी 2 चीजें, always be proud of your association. हाँ, बहुत सारी चीजें होती हैं जो इम्प्रूव हो सकती हैं, कम्युनिकेशन में लैग हो सकता है. मुझे अभी कोई साहब एक शिकायत कर रहे थे कि हमें बिल्कुल लास्ट मिनट पे ईमेल आई, पॉसिबल नहीं है. लेकिन अगर आपने उनको भी हाईलाइट करना हो तो उस अंदाज में करें कि वो आपकी बॉडी पे नेगेटिवली रिफ्लेक्ट. आपके पास कॉन्टेक्ट नंबर्स हैं सबके, एवरीवन इज वेरी अप्रोचेबल, आप उनको कांटेक्ट कर सकते हैं. Although I'm not on MNP, but it doesn't mean I'm not available to you. आपको कोई इशू हो या आपका नहीं कांटेक्ट हो पा रहा, you can always reach to me. I would be more than happy to guide you. बाकी MNP मेंबर, एक्टिव मेंबर, सीनियर मेंबर हमारे यहाँ पे देखें, अरसलान भी आ रहे हैं, हमारे MNP के लिए वाइस चेयर रहे हुए हैं, अली भी बैठे हुए हैं, हमारे सीनियर मेंबर्स हामिद साहब भी बैठे हुए हैं, बाकी सारे लोग भी बैठे हैं. अगर आप अपने अंदर ये जज्बा एक कम्युनिटी का रखेंगे तो याद, your network is your network. जितना आप एज अ कम्युनिटी स्ट्रॉन्ग होंगे, आप सारे ऊपर जाएंगे. ठीक है, क्योंकि वो जैसे इकबाल ने कहा था ना, मौज है दरिया में और बैरून दरिया कुछ नहीं. तो ये हमेशा अपने मद्देनजर रखें. शॉर्टकमिंग्स होती हैं, देयर इज ऑलवेज रूम फॉर इम्प्रूवमेंट. जहां बेहतरी की गुंजाइश है बताएं, लेकिन जो अच्छा हो रहा है उसे डिसमिस ना करें, उसे अप्रिशिएट करें और उसे दूसरों तक. मैं आपको एक स्लाइड दिखाना चाह रहा हूं. Okay, जी, apparently slide show close हुआ था due to some error. We still have a few slides. So I'm sorry, but you'll have to bear a few more minutes. It wasn't my intention. But it's important कि आपको पता लग जाए. हमने न्यू मेंबर सेरेमनीज की बात की थी. ये कुछ पिक्चोरियल प्रेजेंटेशंस हैं जो आप देख सकते हैं. 6 digit प्रोग्राम सीजन 3 की हमने बात ऑलरेडी कर ली है. डिफरेंट अपकमिंग टेक्नोलॉजीज के ऊपर जो सेशन ACCA ने किए हैं उनमें से कुछ आपके सामने हैं. सिमिलरली पब्लिक फाइनेंशियल मैनेजमेंट को असर ने भी हाईलाइट किया. हमारे बाकी स्पीकर शायद ये भी इसके बारे में बात कर रहे थे. इसी तरह डोमेन स्किल्स के ऊपर भी ACCA ने सेशन किए हैं. टेक्नोलॉजी के ऊपर अगेन प्रोफेशनल ग्रोथ, टैक्सेशन की स्पेशल सीरीज इस दफा रीजनल बेसिस पे रन की थी ACCA ने, जिसमें श्रीलंका, बांग्लादेश, पाकिस्तान सारों के बिग 4 के पार्टनर्स को एंगेज किया गया था. इसके हवाले से भी 3 इंपॉर्टेंट चीजें हैं जो जरूरी है आप लोग जान लें. हमारा एक ग्लोबल टैक्सेशन फोरम है जिसपे आई एम ऑनर्ड टू बी रिप्रेजेंटिंग पाकिस्तान. उस पे कोर मार्केट्स के अक्रॉस वर्ल्ड टैक्सेशन के जो एक्सपर्ट हैं वो अपने अपने मुल्कों के इश्यूज, उनके सॉल्यूशंस, उनकी डेवलपमेंट्स लेके आते हैं और ACCA के जो ग्लोबल एजेंडास उनके साथ उसको टाइप करके स्ट्रेटेजी पेपर्स, पॉलिसीज एक्सेट्रा ये इनके लिए इनपुट क्रिएट होती है. इसी तरह इंटरनेशनल असेंबली है. इंटरनेशनल असेंबली जी तमाम मुल्कों की जो MNPs होती हैं उनके नुमाइंदों का एक गेट टुगेदर होता है जिसमें दे गेट अ चांस फॉर अ लिमिटेड इंटरेक्शन विद द एग्जीक्यूटिव टीम and highlight the issues of the member. So some of the issues that I have been highlighting, like the subscription issue, is all the good things that we have been doing and where we need the support, be it for the licensing, the audit rights, for certain member areas, for additional resources, to have more events for the members. Obviously, ये confidence है तो मैं आपको बहुत specific तो नहीं बता सकता, लेकिन मैं आपको कुछ ये लाइंस क्लियर कर, बल्कि सो मच सो कि जब ये इन पर्सन हुआ करती थी अब तो ये कंप्लीटली डिजिटल हो गई है. एंड वी हैव बीन टोल्ड गोइंग फॉरवर्ड ये डिजिटल ही हुआ करेंगी. बट जब ये इन पर्सन होती थी तो बेचारी एग्जीक्यूटिव टीम काम आ जाती थी, क्योंकि मैं तो खाना भी नहीं खाता था और उन्हें भी नहीं खाने देता. उन्हें कहता था बात ये 2 बातें हुई, अब बाकी 4 ये भी है हमारे. तो आई होप कि अब जो हमारी नई MNP है आप भी लोग इसी जज्बे से इन चीजों को आगे लेके चलें और इनको इसी तरह हाईलाइट करें. अच्छा जी, सेक्टर रिलेटेड रिसोर्सेज की हम बात कर चुके हैं और आप ACCA वेबसाइट पे भी इसे देख सकते हैं. ACCA प्रैक्टिस कनेक्ट एक इवेंट है आई थिंक जिसके बारे में आप अवेयर होंगे. इस पे भी MNP ने प्रपोजल दिया हुआ है क्योंकि ये प्रैक्टिस बड़ा लोकलाइज इशू होता है. अब मेरे जो टैक्स कंप्लायंस के इशू है या मेरे जो लोकल लॉज के इशू है वो किसी ऑस्ट्रेलिया या किसी न्यूजीलैंड वाले को जाहिर है प्रैक्टिकली पॉसिबल नहीं. कुछ जनरल चीजें तो हो सकती है जो शेयर वैल्यू की हो. तो MNP इस पे प्रपोज कर चुकी है कि इसमें पाकिस्तान सेंटर कंटेंट और बढ़ना चाहिए. बट असद वाज जस्ट टेलिंग मी कि इसमें हाईएस्ट जो व्यूअरशिप है वो पाकिस्तान से, व्हिच इज ग्रेट. अच्छा, कैरियर जोन्स ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटी, इसके ऊपर ACCA मल्टीपल सेशन कर चुका है. टाइम के कम होने की वजह से मैं इसे स्किप करता हूँ, लेकिन अगर आपने नहीं देखा तो ये सेशन YouTube पे भी है. ACCA के पास भी इनकी रिकॉर्डिंग है, इन्हें जरूर देखें, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट. इसी तरह पाकिस्तान पेट्रोकेमिकल सिंपोजियम जो था, इसमें ACCA ना सिर्फ एक पार्टनर था बल्कि ACCA was represented with who's who of not just the industry but who's who of the power sector as well. पब्लिक ट्रस्ट इन टैक्सेशन के हवाले से भी ACCA ने ज्वाइंट इवेंट किया था विद IFAC, OECD एक्सेट्रा. आई एम श्योर आपने सेक्शन ने अटेंड किया होगा, नहीं किया तो अगेन आप इसकी रिकॉर्डिंग देख सकते हैं. ग्लोबल एम्प्लॉयर सर्वे, इसके बारे में ऑलरेडी शाहिद जो है आपको ब्रीफिंग दे चुके हैं कि कितने एफर्ट्स ACCA कर रहा है और ये कुछ स्टैट्स हैं जो उन फिगर्स को बैक करते हैं. ऑब्वियसली हम इन सब में 100% देखना चाहते हैं और हमारी ख्वाहिश भी यही होनी चाहिए, लेकिन अगर आप इसको बाकी बॉडीज से बेंचमार्क कर लें तो आपको ये 90s और हाई 80s जो हैं इनको अप्रिशिएट करने में ज्यादा आसानी हो जाएगी. And now this brings us to the end of the presentation because I'm at the Harun Ahmed John's presentation now. So this is now the formal closure. So I would like to thank you all for coming today, taking time out of your busy schedule. I would like to thank all the senior members of the, not just last 2 years, of the past 4 years, and even before. All the members I got the chance to interact with, all the ACCA team members, both current as well as past, who contributed and who went out of their way to incorporate the suggestions where they could. And I hope this journey of excellence continues. And with this, I wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Omar, for sharing the performance snapshot with the members of ACCA, and also for your contribution and dedicated support as the chairman MNP to ACCA Pakistan's effort throughout your term. So, ladies and gentlemen, you must be aware that the role of member network panel is to advise the council, the chief executive, and the head of ACCA Pakistan on matters relating to strategic development of ACCA, raising ACCA's profile, enhancing its reputation in Pakistan, presenting and picking on new ideas and topics, and appointing task forces to deal with specific policy issues. Voting for this term's MNP closed on Thursday, 19th of May 2022, and I would request Harun and Machar, Regional Head Members Affairs, MISA, to share the results for MNP elections.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. First of all, thank you very much, all the members taking time out, coming over here, meeting each other, meeting us, networking. There is one regret, however, that I would want to mention. Each empty seat in this room means a member who was declined to come here today and join in person. My apologies to those members who wanted to come. There were about 600 to 700 members who wanted to come, and this hall could only accommodate as many as we have here today. So I would appreciate if you register and you sort of show us your desire that you're going to be here, to be here. Otherwise, I mean, we don't want members being deprived of this opportunity. You are lucky ones. You were the fastest fingers on the laptop. So just as I sent that email at 2 a.m. in the morning, and most of you were probably looking at emails coming from ACCA, and in your, sort of in your bed, you all registered, because at 9 a.m. in the morning the next day, the registrations were full. That's how quick the response was. So thank you very much for that. Can I take a little longer than normal? I just want to tease members a bit before announcing the results. So just testing your patience. This very important slide, and Shahid would have elaborated this further. Just like we do a member relationship survey every month throughout the year, and then consolidated and the results shared with us on a quarterly basis, जिसके through हम अपने KPIs monitor करते हैं whether we are doing a good job with members or we're not doing a good job with members, what are the areas for improvement. Similarly, ACCA conducts a research with employers globally. Okay, the important factor in there is that there are the global figures, and right next to it are the Middle East and South Asia figures, जिसमें से एक significant part Pakistan का है. So if you read the first line, it says prefer to recruit ACCAs. The global standard is 96%, Middle East, South Asia is 92%. I think this is a very important factor. We would want this to be 98, 99%. We can leave the rest of that 1% for some other organizations, institutions. But 99% we would want to see. So I think a big round of applause for our business development team, the ACCA team, for the members particularly. would open the doors of their organization for younger members to join. And I can point at Mr. Mubin sitting here. He just relocated back from Saudi. And the first thing he did after coming back from after about 10 years, 6 years, and the first thing he did was he called his alma mater. He said, I want to come and talk. And the first thing he said was, I want to set up a firm. And I'm looking for partners and I'm looking for members. So that's the spirit that we want to see more often, with more members. I would also want to take this opportunity to recognize two other senior members sitting here. And the senior most, I must say, Mr. Amir Aladdin. How could we miss him? So, Mr. Amir Aladdin, I think ever since ACCA decided to come to Pakistan, Mr. Amir Aladdin was the face that was there as a member, within Pakistan. So I think that senior member and definitely has contributed a lot. He has worked as an MLP chair as well, and he was a part of the first member advisory committee when the members were selected. Only there were no elections. He was a member of the members advisory committee as well. So I think he has seen ACCA flourishing in all these years. So I must say, all of you should network with him. I would also want to mention Umar sitting next to him. And you might not know he's a big man in the public sector right now, and he's associated with the CFA body as well. But he was also an ACCA staff member. So initial days before my joining ACCA, Umar had the pleasure or the honor of working for ACCA. I can see a lot of my 6 digits participants also, so I can recognize each one of you. I think Hamid, I must point out, again a senior member who's very he has ACCA right in the middle of his heart. So whenever he's speaking right from his heart. He pours ACCA. So without any further ado, I've just left this up on the screen for you to absorb, digest, know, understand, and talk about. Okay, these are important statistics. This is what employers think of ACCA, right? And there are a few indicators that need to be improved. Right? So, वो किस तरह improve होंगे? By your support as an employer. उससे ये improve. Okay, so very important slide that I want to share. Okay, so now going on to business, and I'm sure there are hearts thumping and all that happening here. All right, but before that, nothing. No, it's nothing. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are some of the statistics of the elections that happened. There are no results, but there's the statistics. The total eligible voters were 5,908. These were all the active members of ACCA in Pakistan at the time when voting started on that day. Right? इसमें कुछ लोग ऐसे होते हैं जिन्होंने मुझे कंप्लेन की कि मुझे, for example, I didn't get my email to be able to vote. इसमें वो लोग शामिल नहीं थे जिन्होंने, और प्लीज आप लोगों में से भी अगर किसी को ये इशू फेस करना पड़ रहा है कि उनको ACCA की ईमेल्स रिसीव नहीं होती, so please go back to your My ACCA account and check your consent level. Consent level. Have you given ACCA the consent to send emails or to receive emails from ACCA? If you've done that, only then the emails will come to you. If you haven't done that, no matter what, ACCA will not or cannot send emails to you. So please check that. This is a GDPR issue, and therefore we cannot send emails when they are not, invited. So total eligible voters 5,908. I feel like the Election Commission of Pakistan announced the total valid votes, 1375. This is about 23.3% members voting, which is the highest so far. Thanks to a very active campaign run by our election contesting members. And all, I can see all of them sitting down here, right? So very active election campaign. And thankfully, there were 0 invalid votes. Had this been the election of the Senate of Pakistan, there could have been many invalid votes. But thanks to the system that we use, Civica, very transparent. I wish ACCA for Pakistan के elections Civica पे हो सकते हैं, बहुत transparent है. All right, so if you are ready now, yes. I'm enjoying this. Can you read the? All right. So this is exactly how we receive it from Civica. Yeah. But I don't want to tease your eyes, so I do this. Wow. We'll let them do that. We just do that. Okay. So out of 25 members who contested, and contested very well, and I must say contested very ethically as well. Okay. Very ethically. Because no matter what ACCA members do, I mean, professionalism and ethics remain at the core. They are very professionally as well. We had to pick up the top 5. Right? And that's because the composition of our members network panel is 5 members through voting and 5 other members through appointment. मैं selected नहीं कहना चाहता, मैं appointment by appointment. So, and why does ACCA have this structure of 5 elected, and we call it a hybrid structure of members network panel across the world? It's because we would want to give equal representation. We would want to have inclusion, diversity, right? And not just in gender, but even in terms of sectors, even in terms of experience, age, etc. We would want to have diversity. The Pura MNP is the senior most individuals or members from Pakistan. Their thought process, their decisions, their advice to ACCA will be very homogeneous. एक जैसी होगी सबकी advice. And probably the aspirations of younger members will not be catered. So therefore, MNP has to be a mix of experienced, diverse, and coming from different sectors and cities. And that is why we have the hybrid structure in place. Okay? I know there are 5 people in the room who are very happy, and I know there are 20 others who are unfortunate. But this should not stop you. I mean, I know for a fact that there are many members who contested elections time and again. My advice, my humble advice to all of you would be that MNP is a forum, fine. But nothing is stopping you from continuing your advocacy work. आपको हमारे भी slides दिखाएं, ठीक है? ACCA का एक member advocacy program globally run होता है. वो पिछले 3 सालों से उसका winner जो है वो श्रीलंकन है, क्योंकि हमने regionally contest किया. Sri they always beat us, although economically we've beaten them, we've sustained longer, but वो हमें हमेशा beat करते हैं. So I would say, आप सब लोग, you are all advocates of ACCA, whether you're on the members network panel or not. You're all advocates of ACCA. Start with your own organizations. See how you can see the ACCA brand building and developing there. Right? Start from there. Become an ACCA advocate. Right? Submit your nomination for our advocacy award. Become a part of our subcommittees. अभी इस सारे process के बाद जो सब कमिटीज बनी हुई हैं 5 वो भी revamp हों, right? And therefore we would want to see newer members, fresh blood, more ideas. We would want them to come on to the subcommittees. Start from there. Right? Become visible to other members. Right? I think if we talk now, Umar is a figure who's known across Pakistan and even outside Pakistan, in the International Assembly, in the Council, in the ACCA executive team, right? But it wasn't like that 6 years ago. Am I right? It wasn't like that, right? So he has, step by step, he's, gone through that journey. I think all of you should be, willing and happy to do that. चलिए जी, अब हम want to see their pictures as well. And all of them are sitting in the hall right now, except for Kani Sarkar, who is available online. If I may request all of them to please stand up, show yourself to the rest of the members here. And I hope this camera right here will capture them as well. Okay. Then now we will come to you. So, जनाब ये तो elected members थे. अब हम बात करते हैं अपने appointed members. So these are the names of the appointed members of the Members Network Panel 2022 to 24. A big round of applause for all of them as well. And finally, request those who are present here. I see Shazek sitting there. So Shazek, if you can show yourself, thank you very much. And I see Tehmina sitting back there. Tehmina, now show yourself, please. Thank you very much. And Tehmina, by the way, has traveled all the way from Islamabad to join you people here. So that's the excitement. That's the very excitement. We have Rauf Ali Jan, Habib Bank, Karachi, representing banking sector. We have Yabo Muhammad, Peshawar. So you see inclusion and diversity there. He's from a practice. We have Shahdev Sanu, one of the big four and a senior director. He's from Lahore. Imran Morton is from Karachi. He's the CFO of Gadoon Textile Mills. And finally, we have Sayyid Asmatullah, practice currently based in Islamabad at Yusufabad, but belongs to Quetta. Right? So you can see the diversity of the members network. All right, I think celebrations are in order, and I think I'm sure over dinner you're going to engage with all these members network panel and MNP members and familiarize yourself. If you're interested in becoming a part of the subcommittee also, so share your card, mention yourself to these MNP members. हम 14 दिन के बाद first MNP की मीटिंग कर रहे होंगे, जिसमें हम लोग recommendations लेंगे for subcommittees और उसके फौरन बाद subcommittees भी form होंगे. So please don't miss the opportunity if you're interested in becoming an MNP member. MNP का जो पर्पस है वो उमर ने डिटेल में एक्सप्लेन किया, मैं इसको दोबारा नहीं रिपीट करना चाहूंगा, लेकिन MNP is the face of members in Pakistan. It's a representation of all the members in Pakistan and representation to ACCA. So whenever we want the finger on the pulse of how would the members take this decision, we would consult them. Whenever, so for example, different strategic decisions to ACCA letter, consultation to staff letter. Whenever we would want important messages from ACCA to go out to members network panel comes very handy. Whenever we are engaging with important regulators and stakeholders in the country, the members network panel is the face of ACCA. We always would want that when the name ACCA appears up on the stage, should have a member sitting here rather than secretariat. Yeah, we would want, we always want Umar, for example, to present the budget proposal to the chairman, FDR, etc., etc. We would always want him to do that. So that's the role that our members network panel plays. So skipping one slide, Umar has already spoken a bit about ACCA's governance structure. तो मैं इस पर थोड़ी सी क्लैरिटी फर्दर देता हूँ, ये ग्राफिकली भी आपको जब नजर आएगा तो ज्यादा क्लैरिटी आ जाएगी. There are two very important pillars of ACCA. So you have council on the left and you have the executives on the right. Okay, these are two very important pillars of ACCA. All the arrows, if you see, are going up and down both ways, which means communication happening both ways. Okay, the strategy of the organization is set at the top. Council's approval given to the executives and then executed through ACCA office across the world. And if you then see at the bottom, the national offices are connected with member networks. That is where our MNP sits. Okay, so feedback, number one, going through the executive channel, from you people going through the executive channel, but feedback from you people also going through the other route to the council. Okay, and that's what Umar was alluding to. So ये जो reduced subscription का जो slab change हुआ है, the limit, the ceiling थी qualifying income की, it used to be £5,000 per annum for many years. Then it increased to £6,000, and we said that's not enough. And then to £8,000, and we said pound is becoming expensive. And then £12,000. So whoever is earning less than or equivalent to £12,000 per annum qualifies for reduced subscription. But the value delivery is not by offering reduced subscription to members. Reduced subscription is to make your life easier for you to remain connected with the network. That's the purpose. The value delivery is that if you're able to grow in your jobs, grow in your careers, right? That is when we are happier. When you're able to earn in 7 digits, that is when we get happy. Okay? When paying a subscription is immaterial amount, that is what ACCA wants to see all across. Okay, that's the level of income we want to see. We understand that in the early years, members do face difficulty. But that is the important time, and you must remain connected and try to reap the full benefits of being a member. Reap full benefits of becoming a member. How do you do that? Network, connect, work in organizations that support ACCAs. Work in organizations and demonstrate your work to organizations who are initially not supportive, but then they become supportive. Okay, so that's what the perspective is. It clear? Yeah. So this is what I've already explained, the council and the strategies approved at the top. The chief executives are responsible for delivery of that strategy. And at the head office, as well as the national offices, that's where the delivery then happens. Now, I'm sure there are members sitting in this hall who want to contest the council elections or have already contested council elections. Okay? So these are important recommendations, suggestions, advice. If you want to contest council elections, council is looking for real experience of global accounting industry, usually at the partner, owner, or board level. Long-term or technical experience. Proven ability to actively participate in strategic decision-making. An understanding of good governance, personal and professional integrity, and good communication, influencing, and presentation. So this is the checklist. You could check these in your own character, in your own personality, and then go with confidence and contest the council elections. Right now, the council member from Pakistan is Ayla. And if you talk about the region, we have Noman Asif Mia, who's council member from Middle East. He is from Karachi, but works in Wage.com in UAE. And that's all from my side. Thank you very much for the opportunity. There's complete silence in the room, so I thought to wake you up. So good day. Before closing off, I would want one person in the room to stand up and take a bow. And who could that be other than Umar Zaki? So if I may request you to please stand up, and a huge round of applause for this chairman of the management panel, for the flag bearer of our taxation, and the champion of our taxation forum. Fantastic work by my mind. And served on the member of the panel for many years. Thank you very much, and I must hand over to the very.
Thank you very much, and many congratulations to the newly appointed and elected MNP of ACCA Pakistan, wishing them the best in their contributions to ACCA Pakistan. Also would like to thank our members whose term has just ended for their excellent contribution, time, expertise, and enthusiasm. And I would like to call out their names and would request you to please present a round of applause for Mr. Omar Zahir Mir, Ms. Fida Imran, Mr. Salman Irshad, Mr. Salman Zafar, Mr. Murtaza Hassan, Mr. Maz Masood, Ms. Kuratul N. Yes, of course, please. And Ali Zahir Mir, Hafiz Arsalan Shabir, and Tahir Sartaj for the re-election in the current MLP. Thank you. With this, we head to the Q&A segment, which is the last item on today's agenda. So you all must have received an email, ACCA members must have received an email that you must submit your questions through email to Member Affairs by 25th of May. However, as we have respected members present in the hall, as well as who joined us online on the webinar, I would like take this opportunity to open the floor as well for questions. So if you have any questions, you may kindly raise your hands. Meanwhile, I'll start the Q&A segment with a question that we have received on email as well. The member's name is Mr. Zunair Naseem, and I direct this question to our esteemed panel present on stage. Sir, I'm reading the question. I'm an ACCA member and I really appreciate ACCA's commitment and efforts towards its members' continuous trainings and support. There's a growing trend towards data analytics globally, and I believe that this is the future of finance. But despite numerous webinars and trainings, I still couldn't figure out how this is related to finance and how me being a finance professional can benefit from this. I would really appreciate if you can shed light on this. So may I request Umar Saab or Asid to.
I think Asid want to say something, but before that, just few things. The question basically indicates to me a couple of things. The question did mention there have been several CPDs on the topic, but the gentleman has not been able to figure out how it would relate to the finance function. The first question would be which CPDs the gentleman attended. Did he manage to attend all of them and there was a lack of understanding, or did he attend a few and not the others? That's that, the question part. How it actually relates, just a little bit about that. Look, the finance profession is changing and evolving. All these technologies are already becoming a part of the profession, and that's the way of the future. So, for example, many of the functions that we take as a value proposition now, maybe in 10 years' time, they would not be, they would be automated. So you would have to upskill yourself. If you are talking about analytics, that gives an entirely different perspective of adding value to any business decision-making process by going into those dimensions of data that people generally know. Similarly, if you are talking about blockchain, right now it seems like an infancy. But the application for finance profession are tremendous. Open-ended, secure contract. Imagine the possibilities. For example, we talk a lot about CPAC, and hopefully I am a big believer in CPAC. If some dimensions, some strategic things become correct, let me just be a bit diplomatic here. The things are being sorted out, hopefully, and we are back on track. Imagine goods coming from China, quantum, the volume, no normal banking operation might be able to handle if it was to reach its potential. Blockchain coming into the game, you would need to have an understanding to comprehend those contracts, to understand them, to decipher them. So these are just a few examples to actually share with you the possibilities and the outlook of the future. And don't just think that we are talking about Europe or America or this will be happening here. These things have already started happening here. So for example, in the audit and assurance arena, at least the assurance partner in our firm too, these developments have already started happening. We are also in talks to have automation, different processes, some call them robots, some call them AI, to be applied that save human cost, increase the efficiency, etc. So that is the future. Over to you, sir.
I think a lot has been said by Umar, but specifically in response to this question, I would encourage all members, especially the member who has asked this question, also go through the ACCA learning platform. There are a few certificates available over there, especially the certificate in data analytics. Data, as we all know, that we are going for increasingly becoming a digital world, and the digital world runs on data. Data from a finance perspective, if we converge that with the concept of big data, how that data can be utilized to create trends for the business, which can help the business target its customers, understand its product segmentation in terms of customer preferences, can help improve that, can understand the trends. If you want to know the most basic application of data analytics, telcos do that on a second by second basis. They know exactly आप किस टाइम पे कितना ए टाइम यूज करते हैं, किस टाइम पे कौन सा एज ग्रुप वो डेटा ए टाइम यूज कर रहा है. डेटा इटसेल्फ जो डेटा एज अ सर्विस है उसके पीक टाइमिंग्स क्या है, डेटा की अंदर दे आर एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड कि आप किस एप्लीकेशन, किस वेब, किस एज ग्रुप क्या एक्सेस कर रहे हैं. So at the end of the day, we know that it's no more an era where oil is equated to gold. So data is the new oil. It is the future. So it is going to be a growing space, and it's very important that we understand the evolution with which Umar explained in terms of the higher elements, machine learning. We talk about the impact of blockchain. We talk about the impact of the algorithms. You see, algorithms are created by professionals who know how to write languages, but who helps them write those commands. So it's yourselves. You will be the ones who will be supporting them. ERPs हैं, ERP बनाता computer scientist है या software engineers, but who helps them understand or create that reporting, that who helps them understand what is the best query, what is the information that they are seeking. So please, wherever you have a conversation within your organization, with future members, with your colleagues, even with young kids at home. So, and the future is going to be where CFOs or finance people are going to be the chief data scientists of the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for answering that question. If we have any questions from our members present in the hall, you may raise your hand and we'll direct the microphone towards you. Do we have any questions for our panelists? Any employment related questions can be directed to the Head of Business Development Central. Okay. So if you may kindly introduce yourself as well.
Hello. Assalamualaikum. My name is Yusuf. I'm currently working in the banking industry. So the question that I have for the team planner is that are there any plans regarding creating an incubator for ACCA members in the spectrum of ACCA Pakistan, where we can, uh, help members out if they have new startup ideas, and which with that I believe that we can improve our representation in the fintech world as well. There are a lot of webinars and other things that are being conducted currently, but I think that having a specific place of where people can come with their startup ideas, and where ACCA can accelerate those ideas through incubation programs and giving them access to the investors like NIC or other incubators are working in Pakistan. That can help a lot. And secondly, it's more of a suggestion than a question. I think that apart from members, the affiliates need to have a voice as well. So can we work on creating a separate body for affiliates or students, or having their voices heard when it comes to ACCA Pakistan in the forum? Because I'm a new member and I have recently talked to a lot of students and affiliates, and they believe that their voices are not being heard in the ACCA portal, and in the areas where their voice should be heard and where it can bring a change. So in order to address their issues, can we have separate bodies or any form of platform for them to raise their concerns and their queries and their issues? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, thank you very much, Yusuf. I think very valuable insight and suggestions. So I'll start with the first part, and the second part will be picked up by Ranu. When we talk about incubators, you see, one of the things that we picked up, and in terms of sustainable or sustainability, is the partnerships that we nurture and foster. So you'll be pleased to know that ACCA from Karachi to Peshawar is a partner with the National Incubation Center. And in the presence of such partners, we have the joint arrangements with them that if you have any idea, they have these annual or biannual cohort inductions. So if your idea is strong enough, is scalable, is unique, addresses a problem that needs to be fixed, so we'll be happy to connect you with the National Incubation Center. So at present, the ACCA itself does not plan to set up an own incubator simply because of the presence of of such a strong network, whether it is within universities or under the umbrella of Ignite. So over to you, Bharat.
I think there is another aspect to it. By the way, we have signed probably half a dozen MOUs with all these NICs, BITB, and there are two legs of this relationship. One is which you are talking about, how our members and future members can opportunity, and at the same time, we have also extended support to these NICs that are senior members can conduct those capacity building sessions for these existing startups. This could be around business planning, taxation, access to finance, and so many other aspects. So this is the value we are giving to these NICs, and at the same time, we are expecting that they should give that exposure to our startups as well and young members as well. So just wanted to add this. For her solution, we probably don't need to create a new one. Let's use the existing established resources and capitalize it.
Yes, the second question that you asked was about student communities. So I'm glad to share with you that the NNP constitution does allow for student societies to be constituted under, I mean, not separately, but under the NNP. So while we're going to have a discussion on subcommittees in the first meeting, we will table this point again, and on consensus or majority vote, we will consider setting up all societies for students or future members. Thank you very much for the suggestion. Very good.
Thank you, Varun. Any further questions from the audience? Do we have any questions online?
Yes, one.
So please raise your hand.
मेरा नाम उमर है and I am working in a US based company and I can see कि almost 380 approved employers हैं हमारे पास. जब approved employers होते हैं तो उनके पास reach करना, उनको हमारी CV filter करना very easy होता है उनको because they are already well aware about our expertise. तो मैं जानना चाह रहा हूँ as US is trying to set foot in यहाँ पे वो अपनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस बनाना चाह रहे हैं, यहाँ पे ब्रांचेस बना रहे हैं और अपना बिजनेस ग्रो कर रहे हैं पाकिस्तान में. तो स्पेसिफिकली यूएस के एम्प्लॉयर्स को रीच आउट करने के लिए कोई आपने प्रोग्राम डिवाइस किया है उनको ताकि एसीसी अप्रूव एम्प्लॉयर
I'll let the details be answered by Shahid. But from our perspective, जो आपने भी बात की कि any business that comes to Pakistan, they need professional accountants. So if you are aware of any business that has recently been set up, is going to be set up, and they require talent, so we are happy to reach out to them. And secondly, in terms of, you see, there is a growing demand. And I would reach out to each one of you as members to speak within your organizations. I was speaking to two senior women members, one working in the Bank of Punjab, other working for a logistics company, but how we can really help them convert their working relationships into the approved employers. So thank you for picking that up. And over to Shahid, please.
I think जो mandate है ACCA Pakistan Business Development Team, we primarily work with all these Pakistan-based employers, and we are trying to create more and more opportunities. But अब चूंकि globally distributed teams का concept है, और ACCA Careers is that platform that can give access to our members जो कि globally all across the globe opportunities आ रही होती हैं, उनको भी apply कर सकते हैं. So we do not have that niche जिसमें US based companies को track किया जाए, but we can explore that. Let's have that offline conversation. What exactly what you are looking for, और हम explore कर सकते हैं. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions?
अस्सलाम वालेकुम. मेरा नाम मोहम्मद फारूक, working as group CFO for SSC Group of Companies. सर मैंने जो अभी आपका सेशन चल रहा है उसमें भी देखा कि आपका मेजर जो फोकस रहा एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी, चाहे वो मार्केटिंग टीम का हो, चाहे वो इन्वेस्टमेंट फेयर्स का हो. तो जो मेरा क्वेश्चन है, जिस तरह मैं पहले बात की, उसके लिए एक एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप की तरफ आना चाहिए. इट कैन बी इन द फॉर्म ऑफ फ्रीलांसिंग. हम वो चीजें जो स्किल्स जो इस टाइम नीड ऑफ टाइम है, उसी प्रोफेशनल्स की, फाइनेंस प्रोफेशनल्स की, पोस्ट प्रोफेशनल्स की, हम उसको फोकस इस हद तक कर रहे हैं. और फ्रीलांसिंग जिस तरह इस टाइम आई थिंक जो मेरे सर्कल में मेंबर्स हैं या दोस्त हैं, तकरीबन 40 to 50% में ऑलरेडी फ्रीलांसर भी जॉब कर रहे हैं, काम कर रहे हैं. तो हमें वो चीज जो थोड़ी सी एक्सपेंड करनी चाहिए थ्रू दिस प्लेटफॉर्म कि भी हम इसको बाकी जो हमारे रूरल एरिया है या रिमोट एरिया में जो मेंबर हैं जिनको इतनी अच्छी अर्निंग अपॉर्चुनिटीज नहीं मिल सकती किसी भी वजह से, तो वो उनसे भी फायदा उठा सके और उनके लिए बेनिफिशियल हो. तो इस चीज की एक सबसे इस स्टेप पे काम करें. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's a wonderful question. Could you please reshare your name? Mohammed Farooq. Farooq, जो आपने भी बात की है, so we are talking about the new ways of working, the future ways of working, the new business models that are evolving. We are talking about gig economies. We are talking about freelancing. We have multiple platforms available, and there are two platforms which are very popular. Then we talk about, so freelancing itself, I would say, is self-employment, but entrepreneurship probably would be slightly different, where your focus would be to build a business that grows, that scales, that employs, and that creates some sort of a sustainable business model for you to continue. So from an entrepreneurship perspective, incubators, जिस तरह शायद ने भी जिक्र किया, मैंने भी जिक्र किया कि we have partnership. All members, all future members who are interested, we have even tutors over here. We have the teaching community. We have got senior members. Anybody who has an idea, so we're happy to connect you as ACC through our partnership network. ACC इसमें कैसे contribute कर रहा है? The level of webinars, the level of conversation, the different platforms that we have. ये जो SMP Practice Connect platform है, it is all about how these small and medium-sized practices have grown with time. So whether you are a risk advisory, whether you are a transaction advisory, whether you are a tax consultancy, whether you are a management consultancy, whether you are an ERP consultant. So they share their experiences, their global experiences. So some of it may be very specific to the markets. I would suggest and recommend to please keep a tab on this community which is called SMP, Practice Connect platform. उस पे जाइएगा. दूसरा, we have another community which is BFSI, which is banking, financial services and insurance. So within the startup ecosystem, which Yusuf mentioned that he represents a bank. So fintech is a very upcoming space, but every fintech, every startup is not going to be the next unicorn, is not going to be successful. So it's all about really bringing your experience together, having the right mentors, having the right peers. So ACC is happy to connect you on that. Last but not the least, मैं बात करूँगा वो ये कि जो ACC curriculum है, जो आपको ACC के ethics and professional skills module है. So you would see the way it has evolved over the last 4 years. So we are trying to last, I would say, 6 years when EPSM was actually launched in 2016. Previously, many of the senior members would know that it was only the ethics module. Then it became professional skills. Within the professional skills came these new areas. Another area within, I think the final point, which I should not miss out, is continuously knowing that ACC is putting together a plethora of resources for you on the ACCA learning platform. Please do visit that. All the new certificates, all the new technologies, so digital innovation in finance, there is a certificate on that. So once you get into that, you will get to know a lot of the new areas that are picking up. It can help you generate new ideas. It can help you support a new idea. Both, so Shahid picked up another very important point. So where you can be entrepreneurs, you can also be the mentors of entrepreneurs as well. So people with the right finance background. So Shahid ने कुछ areas का जिक्र किया कि business को model कैसे करना है, आपका governance structure कैसे होना चाहिए, आप board कैसे constitute करें, आपकी अगर startup grow कर रही है तो आप अपनी financing negotiate कैसे करें, अगर कोई आपके board पे आना चाह रहा है तो आप उसको कैसे negotiate करें, आप investments को appraise कैसे करें. So that's your expertise. So, but it's all about, you see, ACC doing its bit, but in the new gig economy, it's how proactive we are. It is how differently we think. पहले हम probably, 10 से 15 साल के बाद irrelevant होती थी, whatever we have thought. Now you would see that every year, I think we are gradually a concept of the law of diminishing marginal utility. So every year, something that you learn at the start of the year, at the end of the year, a certain percentage of that would taper off to be relevant. Why? Because it gets replaced by new information. So continuous learning, please continue to focus on that, and please use ACC resources that have been made available for yourself. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions?
So very important point, sorry, जो अभी शाहिद ने raise किया कि हम freelancing की बात कर रहे हैं. So in the conversation that I had at the start when we opened this session was outsourcing, finance and accounting, shared services. How Pakistan can be is now becoming a preferred destination for that. Today we had a discussion with the largest learning partner in Pakistan that they are finding it difficult to source to meet the demand of employers. employers are coming to us in terms of the innovation hubs that have been set up in Pakistan, in terms of the back offices, in terms of the outsourcing centers, in terms of centers of excellence. So Pakistan is unable to meet that demand. If somebody comes to us that we need 1,000 professional accountants in the next 5 years, it will be very difficult for us collectively, all professional accounting bodies, to fulfill that demand. So we are working towards that, but I suggest that within, when we talk about freelancing gig as well, so do explore this area where based in Pakistan, without the drain, you're exporting services. And there is now so much of new fiscal incentives being given to IT-enabled services, which you can benefit from. Thank you, Sharon.
मेरा नाम अली है सर, ये जनरल एक क्वेश्चन है सीए वर्सेस एसीसी के बारे में। जहाँ भी हम बैठते हैं मीटिंग वगैरह में, एक गैदरिंग होती है, तो जो ब्यूरोक्रेट्स जो हमारे स्टेट कल्चर है ना, वो सीए को हमेशा सीरियस लेता है वर्सेस एसीसी है। उस पर मेरी जो सर एनालिसिस है ना, वो यही है कि उनकी वो अपने नाम से फॉर्म रजिस्टर कर सकते हैं। तो उस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से ना, जो हमारे एम्प्लॉयर है उसको वैल्यू ऐड कर काम करना। इसी तरह जो फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट है उनके पास राइट्स होते हैं, और इसी तरह जो मेमोरेंडम एसोसिएशन है कंपनी की, उसमें वो वैल्यू ऐड कर रहे हैं, उसमें उनका नाम आ रहा होता है। तो आज की डेट में तो हमारे पास ऐसा कोई लीगल राइट्स नहीं है। तो आप क्या समझते हैं कि आने वाले वक्त में ACCA को काम पे आ सकता है कि जो मेंबर्स हैं पाकिस्तान में, उनको ये राइट्स दिलाए जाएं कि वो अपने फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स को साइन कर सके, अपनी फर्म अपनी आप ओपन कर सके?
चलिए, आप जवेरिया अगर उस स्लाइड पे आ जाइए जो शायद की लास्ट स्लाइड थी, विच ही लेफ्ट ओपन। देखिए, we have to be very clear that all across the globe, the professional accounting bodies, the national accounting bodies have a certain preference or have a certain, I would say, have a certain, so they will always be the ones who will be given the rights within the law. You see, over and above other professional accounting bodies. So how has ACCA specific strategy any ACCA member who wants to pursue assurance and wants to pursue audit license as a future career? So for that, we have created a specific pathway with ICMAP, where you can become ICMAP members. There's a current limit within the law for ICMAP members. So once we go through that pathway as ACCS, two ICMAP members, just one pathway paper. You qualify that, you become an ICMAP member, a pathway practicing certificate later, you can easily avail. Pakistan में जो ज़्यादातर companies हैं, they have a lower paid up capital threshold. Not every company, आपकी just companies को 660, 665. So आपके पास जो फायदा लिमिट है, SMEs की बात कर रहे हैं। ठीक है, so that's in respect of the auditor. So the strategy is that anybody who wants to pursue that as a profession, then you have to go through the national body pathway, and this is no different from the rest of the world. जहाँ तक जो एक perception है, we do understand that it has not been completely turned around, but there is a marked improvement. We had a conversation earlier today, again with a leading learning partner. I was last week in Karachi. We had conversation with employers, with the Overseas Investors Chamber of Commerce. So now, as things are opening up, the need of the professional accountants is growing. So this divide that you are suggesting, or this perception, is definitely going to improve even further. The earning potential right now, we have picked up, whether it's a future member, whether it's an affiliate, who is a qualified person in terms of the 13 papers. Once you become a member, so you will see that this threshold of financial or earning parity is improving. And we hope that do let us know wherever you feel that you experience such perception issues. So we are happy to accompany you, join you at your employer, discuss with them, understand their concerns, respond to them. और ये जो स्लाइड है इसमें आप देखें, you have got all the rights available. अभी उमर जहीर जो है, उन्होंने बड़ा important point raise किया in his conversation that ग्रोइंग आपको पता है पाकिस्तान में जो बिग फोर है हमारे साथ शाहजेब भी बैठे हैं. I was meeting with the managing partner of EY last week in Karachi. I met a PwC partner in Islamabad last week, week before last. So उनकी तरफ से जो conversation आ रही है वो बड़ी simple आ रही है that globally the assurance services are constricting and there is a lucrative multiple streams operating within advisory, within consulting, within ERP, within data analytics, data as a service, in terms of risk advisory, in terms of specialized transaction advisory. So there are so many other areas. So, but from a Pakistan perspective, our understanding is that just like the rest of the world, the national bodies will be leading the assurance side, and this is no different in Pakistan than other jurisdictions as well. I hope it responds to your answer query. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your questions as well. If we have any further questions, we can take them over dinner. I'd like to thank my panel for answering your questions. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we complete today's agenda of Annual Member Network Meeting for 2022. Once again, heartiest congratulations to the newly formed MNP. And on behalf of ACCA Pakistan, I'd like to thank you all for attending in person and digitally as well. I hope you all continue to have a pleasant evening. Thank you.
But before we disperse, if I may introduce the lady, very professionally conducted the network meeting. She's none other than Javelia, who's our head of education for ACCA. So, okay, thank you very much. And yes, and thank you very much for reminding me. And she's an ACCA member. So don't sit still, the dinner is served. Thank you.
फेसबुक पे आगे की सोच अक्सर यूट्यूब पे होना तो चाहिए.
Shall I request our newly appointed MNP members to please come towards the stage
यार
for
लेकिन
a
साउंड
group
इतना वो
photograph?
इतना फारिग है कि गाना मेरा खराब हो गया. सही क्या उनका साउंड क्वालिटी वाइज मेरा गाना खराब हो गया. तो अगर जो साउंड इनका है इस कैलिबर का फिर चलाएं.
May I request our newly elected MNP members to come towards the stage for a group photograph? Miss Alina